Hi, everyone. So today we're going to talk about Tynker. Specifically in Tynker, we're going to talk about their hour of code resources because there are so many out there and they keep adding to them. And it's such a great way for students to be able to be critical thinkers and learn some problem solving skills. And you can build these into your classroom as a specific class if you're a computer science teacher, or if you just want to build these into your classroom to talk about problem solving skills or just to get students exposed to code. They're also a lot of fun. So if students need a little break, this is a great way to build some coding skills into the classroom and it feels like they're gaming. So really, it's kind of a win-win for everybody. Students also can access Hour of Code on their own. If they have their own email account, they can sign up and also access some of the free resources on their own. So you can set it up as a teacher and have your own class, or you can just have students sign up as well. So if you are going into Tynker, and specifically the link that'll take you to Hour of Code, if you scroll through, you can see so many resources. What's great is that the beginner coding puzzles, they have voiceover, so that way the directions can be read to the students, so you don't have to worry about some of our younger students that can't read everything that's on the screen yet. They do have a voiceover. And what's great about the Hour of Code is that it's broken down, so it's labeled like beginner. So we know our block coding, it's beginner. It'll walk your way through, and there's Barbie, and there's puppies and dragons, and we get all kinds of stuff going on, which is awesome. It'll also tell you if it's intermediate, and it kind of walks you through the different options that there are. There's also JavaScript and Python available, so students that need more of a challenge because they're very familiar with coding already, they can have access to those. There's also all kinds of cool coding projects that you can build in, and we'll talk about those. Students are able to kind of build those in, so it's not just straight coding, but there's different pieces that can be broken down. So the front page just is kind of everything like loaded in, all the options that you have at Tynker in the free Hour of Code section. But then the next part, it actually breaks it down. So if you kind of go through the little tabs across the screen, it'll tell you if there's coding puzzles or projects, and then what type of coding it's going to be. They have an arcade section, which is new, which is really cool for those kids that are really into gaming and they want to learn how to game. It will give them the setup of how like games are created, and they can kind of create different parts of a game and then hit play and see how it would play out. In the UN section, there's different things specific to you can build into your science class. When they talk about consumption and production, they talk about clean energy. So you can build coding right into your science class if you'd like to. They have a huge NASA section for all of our space friends. So they can talk about different cool ways of going to Mars and doing rovers and all kinds of stuff. And it's coding, and it's going to be related to science. And that's pretty cool with their space exploration. There's specific STEM activities. And then there's also like the gallery, so you can see what other people have created. So that way students can kind of see other projects, which is pretty cool too. If you go through and you decide to click on something, students can get up to 20 free hours when they're going to go into code, which is pretty cool. So Barbie here, I kind of started earlier because I was playing around with Barbie, which is really fun. And it's encouraging coding and the vet office. So you can click anywhere. It walks you through the directions and it gives you commands. So it teaches our beginners how to block code and what commands are like, and that process of putting those commands in to have the computer do something, which is very basic, but really cool to see in action because they know whatever they do, the puppy is then going to follow through. So then you hit play and you see if the puppy has walked the steps you need them to. So again, this is a beginner, straightforward, shows you exactly what's going to happen, but it's really great for our beginner coders and getting them excited about computer science, which is pretty cool. As a teacher, then you have some options too. So your students can play this way of their own student account, but then as a teacher, you're also able to do some things, which is really cool. If you create a teacher account, you're able to, again, have access to certain things that are still free. There's a paid version as well for districts. But if you're in the free version, you can create your own class and load students in so you can kind of keep an eye on what they're doing. You can assign specific coding projects to them. You get up to 40 free hours, I think, if you're a teacher or close to that. You get access to 3 free coding courses, which I'm showing you here. And then they have like free project templates, and the Hour of Code activities that we just talked about, those are going to be free for your students because those are free for everybody. So that way we get more students coding and practicing these problem solving skills and different computer science skills. And so you can have as many student accounts as you'd like to keep track of, which is really nice. And again, this can start with beginner students, but it can go all the way through high school. There's a lot of different challenges as you go on that they've built in to make things a little more difficult for our older students who have been coding for a while now. So you have access to all of these free resources, and then you can go through and you can check like programming, JavaScript, you can preview it, and it'll walk you through the program and what you need to assign things to your students. So that's the free teacher portion that you can look at. You can assign projects to your students. I don't have anything loaded in. This is just my test account. And then again, resources, there's a forum, there's a help center. So there's a lot of different things that teachers can then access to build their program within their school. So there's just different options that you can do between Hour of Code and projects and allowing students to learn all of these new coding skills. And those students who have been doing it for a while, keep them going and moving forward and challenging them. So if they're really great at programming, maybe they can start doing some design with gaming and stuff like that. So check out Tynker, specifically Hour of Code, because it is Computer Science Celebration this month of December. But also just check it out because it's really fun. They're really engaging and students have a good time while they're playing and also learning at the same time, which is the best of both worlds.